Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am bringing you a very fun and exciting match today. It is BtyB against the Wheat of God. And I think this Escalating versus Protoss matchup is going to be kind of neat. Also, we get to preview a map that is in the works. BtyB's Protoss here is going to be showing us his own map. He is, of course, the Ultramarine Protoss, it looks like. And the god we done here as the Dark Bronze Escalating. Not just regular old bronze, dark bronze. So Humbling River, I believe, is a port of Winter Solstice or something like that. I believe that was the name of the map. So we're gonna enjoy this little port here, this 3-spawn map, which can be used for free-for-alls. BtyB's been working on a few of those, maps that are like 3-spawn, and you can also play them FFA. But bottom line is, you get the wonderful opportunity to do some hardcore gaming, I would say, to do some hardcore FFA gaming on these kinds of maps, and I dig that. And I will be jockeying and prioritizing some of that because, in my opinion, we do need more alternative style tournaments. You know, we had those like one-off events like the 3-Crow Throwdown and the Bitty Birthday Bash and the Hit 'em Up Hash. Those were entertaining games for sure. The Alexander After Party, that was another one. There's these wacky ones where we do slightly different things. But come on, like a tournament where you play free-for-alls, I think that's coming in our near future. So strap in, subscribe if you're not already. Maybe throw us a few bucks on our coffee page or on the streamlabs.com link in the description below, streamlabs.com/pronogo, if you want to donate specifically to the continued work on the pro scene, we could say, the competitive space. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we end up coming up with here, because it's a nice time to be a cosmonarch. That's all I'm going to say. BtyB pocketing the scribe is going to put a pylon down in the back. This is going to be an interesting setup because the chantry is already coming down for Godwheat. I know that these players do enjoy a free-for-all every now and then, particularly Godwheat as of late. I don't think BtyB gets to play as often as he would like. He is going to be applying some Draconian pressure, as is the way of AVP, or from his perspective, PVA. Pretty soon we're going to add a 5th race, so even more letters in the ordeal. I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Some proselytes coming out for Godwheat. Got a couple of pilgrims on the front line to try to power build the chantry as well, which makes some sense, you know. The warden is already almost done in the backdrop, and that will deny any expanding. It kind of forces the missionaries to pick a target here. Do they try to help out in the back line, or what? Maybe a little bit fortuitous for BtyB that the target of his ire is a little bit far away here, right? Because the pilgrim hasn't even started the landlock. Godwheat has no idea, even though this is definitely available to him for information. Drax applying that pressure, going to focus on individual missionaries. Very nice from BtyB. And he's just going to keep on toying with him a little bit here. Whenever that landlock gets put down, the warden's immediately going to start hitting. And a bulwark as well to add to it. I think the sound cue might give it away for Godwheat, but no, he still hasn't been able to figure it out. The 2 family men, the 2 dads, duking it out right now. Well, that one Draconian is finally going to fall, I think. The Cardinal is out to get a little bit of frontline action, but it goes down quick. And actually, no, finally we have a lost Draconian. Dude, after all this, he fixed the 2 Draconians and he can finally expand, but at what cost, man? And it turns out you can't expand because there's static defense inside your base. When does he put down the Pilgrim, dude? Or the landlock? That's what I want to know. Looks like his Pilgrim has already been sniped by the Draconians that continue to push on forward. Scribe's actually stuck behind here, so this is just a really deranged moment. There's a lot of biotic units here, a lot of infantry for the Escalating. You can see the focus is on the wounded Draconian. And now the landlock starts, only to get heckled by the warden. Godwheat's going to be very confused. BtyB, though, he lost a Draconian in the mix of all of that. Got pseudo-surrounded by the infantry, and more of the Striders are reinforcing. No, BtyB, stop attacking your own units. God, I can't go one game casting BtyB without him doing that. So, the landlock is canceled as he puts a grandstand down, thinking he's got to hold fast. 5 of the Draconians now. This is a lot of pressure. Vicars are going to be coming out once this gauntlet is done, which is just about now. But I have a really strong feeling this is going to be too much damage for Godwheat to come back from. BtyB flexing on the Escalating right now. I don't know how much of a map test this is for him. He is trying to test out the features of the new map, but, you know, he also likes fast games. What can I say? So what do you do in this situation as the Escalating? Because obviously the Striders are here. They're just going to start tearing down this grandstand immediately, and there's no reaction from Godwheat. He comes out way too late, it feels like, to actually help out there. Bit of a set of pulls initially, but of course that puts the Vicar on cooldown there. And definitely focus it down, I feel like, if BtyB feels like it. He's scaled up to 3 gates, and he's just pretty much going all in from this position. Oh dear, we've got to turn around. The Vicars have been able to, for the most part, blunt this attack, but I do feel like BtyB could have just right-clicked those Vicars, ignored the missionaries. I mean, there's no armor pen outside of the Vicar attack, right? So once you whittle those down and break them, you're in good shape. As of right now, if BtyB loses the position here, right, the Warden will obviously end up going down here. He's not striking at the same time, so he's missing a big opportunity. The Bulwark going to try to keep things going. Grandstand will be traded down. A couple of Vicars taking some shots. Yeah, I think BtyB should have probably gone a little bit faster on that. He might still be able to pick a Vicar. There's one that's, well, 2 that are wounded. Easy salvos down if he chooses to just turn on them, but he's giving those Vicars a lot of respect, more than I think they deserve, and now just ranging down whatever units are within range. Whatever units are automatically acquired by that attack move, it looks like it'll be enough to clean house here. Why is he giving them respect? He's outnumbering those Vicars. In a head-to-head fight, the Vicar does not win the engagement, so your Dracodon will definitely outmuscle the opponent. And this is kind of what will happen too, as well, as if there isn't that chaff of a bunch of missionaries to sort of take the shots and absorb some of the hits, then the Vicars do have a really rough time of it. BtyB putting the Nexus down. That's going to interrupt. No, it's actually not going to interrupt some of his Drac production. So he is still going to be ahead economically after all, it seems. Vicars trying to get that pull to heal themselves. Here comes the salvo. Initial fight. But again, BtyB just being very timid here. I definitely feel like he could go a little bit harder in the paint. I do appreciate the proxy. Not very many players mess it up. I guess that's the map test. You know, he was seeing if he could pocket those static defenses behind the minerals. So now we've hit what feels like maybe a critical mass of the Vicars. But the Dracodons can still just right-click them and one-shot them. And again, BtyB not really doing that. Trying to do the worst of both worlds, which is sort of like take a few fights but not fully disengage. If he just right-clicked into his main base and then just decided to tech up or whatever, that would be one thing. But he's sort of posturing and not really falling back. He's not committing to a decision. He's not committing to a fight or a retreat. And that is going to lead to him losing a lot of units. But Godwheat out here in the middle of nowhere, his reinforcing Vicar is now coming up to try to help out. And I guess that is going to force BtyB back. And he's you know, the phrase "shit or get off the pot" comes to mind, and pardon the imagery, but I do feel like BtyB has decided to get off that pot. So he will be moving back home. 13 Vicars and 4 missionaries. Dracodon offered up to the gods. Oh, BtyB actually does end up saving it. Very neat. The pull gently increases movement speed. Oh, the Dracodon flank would have been gorgeous, but he's not actually up the ramp, so that's not going to help him out at all. You know, obviously they're not going to be hidden. He could still pinch a few of them off, right? But nope, doesn't want to. I guess he's just going to try to do a light flank attack from the main base. And yeah, this attack feels really ill-favored. Maybe this was BtyB's idea all along. Pretend to be scared of the Vicar count, of the Vicars themselves as units. Invite Godwheat to make a really foolhardy decision to move all the way across the map. And then, oops, pranked. And then, yeah, just absolutely lay into him. I mean, there's not really a whole lot going on for Godwheat right now. He doesn't have any production. His Chantry is coming online again, but that's just going to be localized defense. Not really, like, it doesn't shoot or anything. It does provide healing if you're out of combat, but I don't foresee a lot of out-of-combat time here. The Dracodon count getting kind of out of hand. Vicars are resuming production. Yeah, it's really hard to imagine BtyB dropping the ball from this position. He is only mining from the geyser. He's not mining from the ridge. Pilgrim tries to escape for an extra base, and BtyB's going to commit to... Okay, never mind. He's not going to commit to hunting it down. It's going to live with one attack left in it. It looks like he wants to see if he can run, you know, sort of head it off at the pass, but the Pilgrim actually... I guess Godwheat is probably like, oh, I lost that unit. That's fine. And then he just ignored it, so maybe he'll wander up north, looking for that third base, Godwheat. Obviously, I don't foresee that for BtyB, but he is adding a Grand Library to the main area. And a Hierophant has joined up. The Dracodon will clean house, confirming that there is no such third base starting. Good awareness from BtyB to check that. A lot of minerals in the bank. You could definitely add more gateways and pound zealots out or something, but I don't know, man. Right about now, it feels very difficult for him to break this position. A little bit earlier, I would have said it's like an open and shut case, right? He's got 23 Striders or whatever, so just call it that way, but not really as easy when your surface area is super heavily reduced. And, you know, the lack of detection could be a problem here. Obviously, the Escalating units are revealed when they attack, but Godwheat asking for a pause. Prosceniums are coming up thanks to the dyads. Of course, we saw the Cypher come online earlier. We're not using it for anything just yet, but this is a very stilted kind of opener for Godwheat. Pilgrim now cloaked thanks to the Chantry. He's going to slip past the Dracodons. Yeah, this is not a fun fight for the Protoss to be taking, but he might still be able to break through. It just doesn't feel like a very cost-efficient one. Grandstand's still standing. He's not targeting down the Chantry, but it is taking some incidental attacks anyway. And as the reinforcements come in, remember that's 4 Vicars every cycle. This does feel like he's going to rout the Strider count. Chantry will finally fall down. We do have a bugged permacloak guy over here, so that's where I mentioned that maybe there could be an issue there with the Chantry. We still haven't quite figured out why. Sometimes these units remain cloaked even after they strike. And it does show up in the tooltip at the very least, so you know that's what's bugging. Amaranth's coming out for a front line. Is he ever going to go for... No, I don't think so. I think he's just going to chill without detection. But he has added a lot of gateways, and I'm proud of that. Only so much your one permacloaked Vicar can actually do. Occasionally, the Escalating bless themselves in that way. And he does end up putting a landlock down. That's probably another reason, actually, against the Escalating in particular to like garrison these base sites, is see if you can't block them from doing like the Cloaked Pilgrim walkout. Ninja bases are definitely going to be powerful for them because of the fact that their Pilgrim can be cloaked. So, until it starts building stuff, of course. Prosceniums have given way to the Aphorist, but are we going to get anything else? Doesn't really look like it right about now. Adding 2 more Prosceniums. I don't know. That expansion is coming online for BtyB. Ardent Authority as well. Down goes the Pilgrim, the fate of all fools. The Aphorists have arrived. Amaranths are going to get onto the front line and kind of screw up some of the Vicars, for sure. Yeah, he's going to have to evade as his front line starts to collapse. Only the one Amaranth left. The Vicar's attack slows enemy units and eventually releases a pulse that does a little bit of AoE. Not very relevant versus these kinds of Protoss builds, the splash damage, but the slow can definitely catch stuff. Now, the army's starting to get a little bit out of hand. Grand Library's idle for a moment here. It doesn't have a lot of minerals now. It's gas that's his bank, his overflow. The Bestiary has begun for Godwheat. He is very much playing to the level of his opponent, it feels like, here with his sloppy move-outs. This being the second of the game so far for him. Otherwise, he's been pressured quite a bit by BtyB's antics. And you got to think, like, this is his Protoss. You know, he was playing Zerg before. So I wonder why he switched away from that. Either way, he's going to start ranging down some of these units. The splash from the Aphorist, not dealing a ton of damage versus the heavily armored Dracodons, but damage is damage, and it is starting to add up. And the Cantor is about a quarter of the way complete, and yeah, you're seeing before your very eyes why you got to be more decisive with your moves. BtyB's going to concede. Godwheat says, GG, I was going to play it out of it. For testing, XD. Well, I don't know what you're testing at this point, because I think BtyB has gotten pranked. But, yeah, map test. I mean, it's a neat layout. I'm not familiar with Winter Solstice. You know, if our players are going to allow for that, yeah, BtyB's not doing that. BtyB's just like, nah, I'm out of here. I was going to say I'll take a look at the layout. But, you know, it's a neat little spot. Humbling River, it's called. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that map. Obviously, there's some overlap in theory with some of, Frozen Sylphid, but I like the extra use of the structure, you know, the compound, outpost, whatever it's called in that tile set. I can't remember right now. I think compound is desert, so I'm going to say outpost for the Ice World tile set. If you enjoyed that match, seeing the Protoss try to muscle them out and then get a little indecisive and scared of Vickers, and then the Escozi just being like, hey, now I have detached my tail, you're dead, and then smack them, then definitely like the video, and I'll see you tomorrow for more Cosmonarchy. GG.